What's up, guys? This is a conversation that I had with Barney Tearspell, I believe is how you say his last name, and Mr. Sean G. We have a conversation on flat Earth, and then I popped the God question, and what results to me is a pretty good conversation. Enjoy.
Aha, good thing I wasn't saying anything. I was trying to find something. Ha. So here's what it is. So what he's depicting is okay. First of all, you guys are going to hear my typing from now on because that's why I keep muting myself so you don't have to hear it. But now you do. So my bad. Again,
Hey, you muted, bro.
yeah, no, thanks. I just realized it, and but it was because I'm sure you guys can hear when I'm typing. So I've been trying to mute it while I type, but the problem is I forget. How you doing, sir? And,
Doing all right.
and I want to say again, I do apologize to you. I mean, the back and forth that's
Nah,
going to
Sean, you don't
happen.
gotta keep apologizing, bro. So
No, dude, because
it's
real
all good.
shit, I feel bad because the back and forth and the arguing that's fine. That's nothing. I mean, we that shit for years, but I rode you like I like you had a flat Earth responsibility like Ranty puts out there. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like you have your beliefs and like talking about them. You have questions, but you're not pushing your belief, and that's what I care about. That are pushing that are wrong. You don't do that. So I know I've apologized 1,000 times, but I feel guilty for it. Honestly,
Well, to me, it struck me as kind of weird, just because I feel like this. I feel like out of all people, you should uh, have some kind of sympathy for flat Earth because you was a flat earther. So you blowing up and getting mad like that. Was kind of weird behavior to me. But
no,
that's me. That's me. You know
no,
what I'm saying?
you're 100% right. The issue was, and I actually sat and thought about this a lot. I I depicted it to be like, okay, well, if I didn't understand, and I feel like I understand it now, so it's kind of like a progression. I can't expect everyone to be the same, but at the same time, I didn't expect the people or flat Earth coming at me like they are right now, and I didn't expect people like Chris Berry, who just will constantly push something that's not true. I really didn't I didn't see it as clearly as I do now when I was a flat earther. That the way we I used to argue, the way flat Earth argues. Um, and when I say that, I'm talking people like Chris who are pushing what they believe, regardless. You know what I mean, that's those are those type of red flags to me, where you just push, and you're not willing to back up and see if maybe you missed something. That's the red flag for me. And Seek&Find, you never did it, so I shouldn't have done it at all. Um, again, you're probably gonna hear it from me about at least 30, 40 more times. So that's just the way it is. But like I was saying, he just the main reason I was doing this is because Ranty is someone that you would consider a flat Earth uh, information creator. Putting out that information for flat Earth, and flat Earth. A lot of flat Earthers take his information as good. So if he's saying it wrong, but I know it's wrong.
Okay,
I
break it down for me. I really don't
Okay,
know what I kind of missed. I was getting my son a bath, so
okay, yeah, no
I kind
worries.
of missed what you was doing. So
Okay, so Randy did an upload basically saying that the globe's depiction of sea level, or the mean sea level line, is wrong, because if you use a curve calculator over the ocean, it won't work. And that's kind of like where it kind of just falls apart for him. Like that doesn't make sense, for one, because sea level isn't isn't a constant. It rises and it lowers. It's different at different beaches. Depicting on, if it has a shelf, if it has steep beach, or some of them are like relatively flat, and that whole area gets flooded. It's crazy, like Florida. Um, So the idea of what he's saying, it really throws off information. It really makes things look different. Where I'm probably not going to get that far into this upload, but if you guys watch, the links in the description. But when you watch it, if you get to the end of it, one of the guys on the panel and Ranty agrees that these 4-foot waves that he's talking about is the reason why we can't see across oceans, and these are all red flags to me. So again, to say that sea level is flat is disingenuous. It's not correct.
So what is it?
It's level. It's finding its level, not flat.
Okay, so what is that?
I'm
When
sorry.
we talk about liquids, what does that mean to you?
Oh, sea level when it okay.
Or a
Yeah,
liquid? You agree that like water is a natural level, right?
it will naturally level itself. Yeah,
It's a
find its
natural
level.
level.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So what is the surface looking like because it's leveling out? What is the surface doing?
Well, that's the problem because an ocean is constantly moving. It's constantly high
Well,
tide,
we got
constantly low
ponds,
tide.
lakes, swimming
But
pools,
we're talking,
small water. It's
but
all
we're
doing the
talking
same
ocean
thing.
now. That's the
So the
problem.
ocean is different water than everything else.
Well, yeah, if you're saying a pond or a lake, yeah.
Okay, all right. It's got salt in it, so because it's got salt in it, the behavior changes on the surface of it.
Well, yeah, that, yeah, yeah. Also the currents.
Hold on,
Uh,
you never explained what level is. Sorry, I'm a little
oh,
tired. I've been
well,
driving. I've been driving all day.
it's parallel
A
to
little tired.
the center of Earth gravitational pull.
Okay,
Um,
so you're talking about a force making it
yeah,
not be flat on the top because that wouldn't mean level. That
not
would
flat.
that flat and level got nothing to do with each other. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah,
not
that's not.
flat on the top. So what is it on the surface if it's not flat when we talking about level?
Well,
What?
see, that's why we have the terms that we have. So the sea level is where the water's at that time. So a high tide, that's sea level. Low tide, that's sea level. But the mean sea level is the in between. That's that middle part. That's a zero of tides, and that would be what depicted as zero. And even that isn't depicted from the shore. It's more of a geodetic site that is then countered to a beach. There's not geodetic sites on. Um, Again, it's a ocean and a lake and a river. Either way, they're so different because of the situation, because of nature. One has all the elements of the world on it, whereas a lake only has certain amounts. It's not going to get the same wind. It's
So
not
you
going to.
don't believe in micro and macro? Like if I show you something on a small scale that
Hmm?
if I didn't change it and make it a bigger scale, that it somehow changes that. So like
Wait.
so
So,
like the lakes,
oh, okay, I
are
see what you're saying.
flat,
So
right? But
because
the
there's
ocean ain't.
yeah, so
That's
because they're smaller, why do they act different? But if they're still, they're still
yeah.
water,
Back to
basically,
water
right?
being level, Sean.
Okay.
You agree that it's level. We got
Hmm.
that.
Well,
We
yeah,
can move on.
yeah.
It's level, right?
In a
So
nutshell, yes.
I was trying to ask you what is the behavior of the surface of it, and you kind of like threw some
Oh,
word salad at me and waffled on
no,
about
okay. Well,
something. You didn't
well,
really answer what the
okay.
behavior of the
Oh, okay.
surface of the water because it's level. What is it doing on the
Oh,
surface?
okay. I see what you're saying. Well, then it would depend on conditions, 100%. Because I guess there are places that get will be or in the ocean. I guess sailors hate. It's like their worst nightmare where it's just the dead calm, no wind, nothing. In that situation, the water is going to be level. It's going to find its level. It's almost no waves, probably. Luckily, I've never been 100 miles out, so I don't know, but I have seen it. Um, but if it's a light wind, it's going to be a little. It's going to be a little wavy. High winds, it's going to get choppy, and then once you get towards the beach where it starts becoming shallow, that's when you're going to get those waves. When you're going to get the waves that
Oh,
Francis
so you're
was.
saying waves is the curve?
No, absolutely not. Waves are just depicted by wind. it depends on the wind,
But if
the
it
currents, the
wasn't
shelf.
wavy, if it wasn't wavy, it would be flat then, right?
No, it would be level. That was good though. I like that one.
So
That was
you
slick.
see, I mean, you gotta. Okay, so now you're making me want to ask you, right?
Go ahead, man.
We gotta go back to.
We're good.
We gotta
Trust
go
me.
back to
We're good
what
now.
made you a flat earther in the first fucking place, man. You know what I'm saying?
My
Like,
yeah,
what
my
did you what was going through your mind? Walk me through that, man.
you walk outside, look around, and get about what say.
So that was it. That was it. We just that simple that we
Oh
just,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
okay,
My flat
that's
Earth.
just stupid. So.
What led me to be a flat earther was me looking around, and it looked flat. And when I thought about a globe in my head, I couldn't depict a globe of the sheer size of it. In my head, I couldn't piece anything together, and so it made flat Earth a lot easier because I could piece together what I see right in front of me. It's me exactly what I assumed it would be. I didn't understand globe. I thought I knew more than I did when I
Okay,
started
okay.
debating.
So now
Go
you
ahead.
have this profound knowledge of the globe now. So what's gravity in your eyes? Because there's a couple different
Okay, so
variations. In
if
your eyes, what is it
okay,
to you?
so are we going scientific or do you want just Sean's
I
opinion?
want to know what Sean thinks.
Okay,
That's
cool.
I'm here to talk
Okay,
to you,
cool.
bro.
Okay, so I'm asking because if you want a scientific opinion, then I got to look it up and I want to make sure that I'm correct. If I'm giving you my interpretation of it, then I'm going to give you more of a caveman version, but it'll my what gravity is to me is a
Well, you
force.
said you didn't under. Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm gonna just stop you before you
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
You
go
said
ahead.
you got this understanding now. That's what made you go back to the globe. So you
Okay,
know,
yeah, yeah.
I'm ready to hear that. And one of my questions is about gravity because I don't understand
Oh,
gravity,
wait, wait.
and I don't
Oh,
think a
so
lot of
you
people do.
want to know from flat Earth to globe, right? Or
No, I want to know what you think gravity is,
oh, okay.
so I can, yeah.
Okay, it's a force that is basically pulling us down at a consistent rate, or consistent acceleration, I guess. What it is, I have no clue. Where it comes from, not even close to having a clue.
So it's pulling us down it's a force, an acceleration. I hear globe believers a lot of the time say that we feel acceleration. So do you feel like you feel gravity?
Yeah. Oh hell yeah. I'm
So
37 years old.
you
I'm
feel
30.
a
Hang on.
constant
I'm
force on
37 years old. I did extreme sports my whole life. Yes. When I get up, I feel gravity. I feel on every joint in my body.
you. That's fascinating, man.
It is.
I don't feel it. So I guess we
No,
got
you
a
do. Wait.
contradiction of
So when you do a pull up, you don't have to use strength.
when I do a pull up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to pull my weight up.
What are you pulling against?
I got to pull my weight up. I'm pulling my weight up. I'm pulling the rest of my weight that's at the bottom of my body. I'm pulling that up.
Okay. So then what makes your weight?
So if I'm just standing up, right? I'm just standing up. You're saying gravity is doing what?
That
So
feeling.
we're getting
No,
sucked
no,
down
no.
to the center of
Your
the earth.
the feeling of weight is because of gravity.
Okay, so
For
then I would
instance,
ask you this, right?
yeah.
And I've asked you this before.
Uh huh.
Going back to the water.
Oh, good. Let's go.
Water, when forces are applied to them, they show the effect.
Yes, sir.
If I smack some water, it's gonna fly off in the air.
Yep. But then
If
what is
the
it going to
wind
do?
blows on some water, it's
But
gonna
what
make
does it
some
do?
waves, some
What does it
ripples.
do when you
Okay,
smack that
what
water?
is this
Hang
force?
on. When you smack the
What is? I
water.
haven't asked you the question yet. Why are you cutting
Oh,
me off? I haven't asked you the question.
my bad. Because
Oh, you already know what it is. Okay, go ahead. You already know what it
my
is.
bad.
Good.
Go ahead. My bad.
You can't have your cake and eat it too. You're
I
saying
know.
this
I know.
force is constantly doing stuff. You feel it, but the water, what is the water doing? Because the water would feel it too, and it would show an effect from
Okay.
feeling it.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. So, when you smack the water, water will water will fly up, right? Oh no, that
Now
make a mess.
let me throw my observed phenomenon out there. I see reflections in still bodies of water.
That has nothing to do with gravity.
My observed phenomenon is reflections in still bodies of water.
Are you asking me cause? Are you asking me the effect? Like I don't. That, you're not.
Well, I'm just saying we're talking
Okay,
about
so
what the surface of the water is
okay,
doing,
so we're
Sean. We
starting
got a
over.
baby step that we're
Oh,
walking.
okay, so we're starting over. We're starting at step one. Standing somewhere and you see your observation is that's calm water, no wind,
Level water.
level water, wind.
Right.
Okay.
Barney, you answer the question, man.
No, keep going. Say it again, because I would like to answer it.
I don't want to dance around it. I think Barney's gonna dance around
Well,
it too.
no. I'd like you to ask it again, a little bit more clear, because to me, okay, hang on, just hear what you said. You said I observe a still body of water. I see a reflection on that still body of water.
Okay, let me rephrase it for you, man. When contained water is at rest, it's flat on the top. It's level. Yes or no?
Level, yes. Water in a cup,
So
water in a bowl.
that doesn't mean that it's in a flat orientation on the surface. To you, I'm just curious about what you think.
It's not flat. Level. Because
So when you were a flat earther, you weren't thinking that flat and level can be synonymous and used in the same sentence.
No,
you can't use flat and level. I can't use flat and level in the same sentence.
Certain situations, absolutely, but in my profession, no, I can't say flat and level are the same thing at all.
They're not the same thing.
No, they're not.
They're different. They're different words, Sean. They're not the
They're
same
different
thing,
words. They have different meanings.
They can be interchanged and can be synonymous. Yes. Level and curve can. That's where you.
So level and flat only works.
So make that jump for me.
So
Go ahead, make that jump.
And you have level in flat. Fine, can you?
Yes, you can have level and not. You can have flat and not level.
Okay, so
therefore,
then they're not interchangeable.
Not all the time. I'm saying they can be. They can
one
be.
time.
Listen to what I'm saying.
One time.
They can be.
One time. When flat is level,
it can be.
That's the only time.
Come on, man. Don't act like you don't understand what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're saying. When flat is level is the only time. Barney, am I wrong?
We're talking about liquids here. We're talking about liquids here.
That's a very complicated question. Can I ask you something? This is a question for both of you. Is this paper flat?
Yes.
Is it a trick question or not? Like lay it on the table.
It's not. It's not. I'm just trying to gauge your understanding because my understanding is different and it's confusing me. Yeah, and I want to see what you're talking about. Is this paper flat? Both of you. Seek&Find? Yes?
Yes.
Is this paper flat?
See, I knew it was coming. It was like it wasn't flat when you were kind of holding in the beginning, but
no, I mean, it's not flat. It has
yes, it is.
It has flat spots.
Okay, so my understanding is this paper is still flat. It's bent. Flat. It's bent, but it's flat. Right. And regardless of how you turn it around and how you bend it, it will always be flat. Why? Because its geometry is such that you can flatten it out without distorting it. Things that are curved, such as the surface of a bowl, cannot be flattened out without distorting them, regardless of what their curvature is, right? So things that are flat are things that can get flattened out. They're not just things which are straight, things which are composed in a plane. They're things which can be straightened out into a plane. Because you can have flatness in higher dimensions. You can have three-dimensional flatness.
Sorry.
Yeah. And level is parallel to the ground or orthogonal to the direction of gravity. And depending on whether you're on a flat Earth or on a curved Earth, on a globe, that may mean different things.
It may mean different things or doesn't.
It means different things. Yeah.
Okay, so
it's
what's
still
the difference?
So when you say it's parallel to the ground, it's parallel to the ground in both of those cases. When you say it's perpendicular to the gravity, it's perpendicular to the gravity in both of those cases. It's just that the shape is different.
Okay, so do you agree with my line of questioning that I gave Sean about the force, and how water that shows the effects of forces when they're applied to it?
You want to hear me sound like the biggest flat earther ever? Gravity is not a force. The force of gravity that you feel is the electromagnetic repulsion pushing you up.
Oh, man.
I hate you, Barney. Seek and Find. I think we should team up on Barney now.
Okay, so what is gravity, Barney?
Gravity.
It's not a force. It's not a force anymore. Everybody heard that, right? It's not a force.
No,
anymore.
wait. Stop.
Because if it was a force,
no, Seek and Find.
Wait.
His belief it is not a force. I believe it is a force. You believe it's not real. We all have different opinions. His opinion does not mean mine.
I wouldn't jump to saying it's not real. I don't think it's mass attracting mass, and I don't think it's curvature space time. So okay. I think something's going on, but it's neither of those things.
Okay, but
I do buy into we can prove the electromagnetic force, but every time you try to use that, it's shot down. So,
well, I mean, what I was trying to depict is I was just depicting that we have different views. One person's view can't be pushed on everyone. That was all I was saying, because that was what's been going on with
I got you. So just to make this clear, because I like to I don't want to project this on y'all.
You're good. Don't even worry about it. I'm not.
I hear it. You know what I'm saying? That it's like, flat earthers can't agree on anything, and all of us ball earthers, man, we got it down packed or whatever. I've heard this a lot.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that y'all two disagreeing right now.
Oh hell yeah! I in Find I've always disagreed with a lot of people, so nothing new.
Gotcha.
I can try to untangle that if you think that'll help. So gravity, if you're looking in a straight coordinate system in Cartesian units, yes, you can model it as a force and you can measure it, and that's all fine. The best understanding of gravity, the most accurate one, the one that where the prediction and the measurement align to the highest possible degree, is general relativity. In general relativity, it is not a force. It is simply the curvature of space-time. What that means, and there's an example which shows that it's not a force, right? If you're in an enclosed space, which is falling down towards the Earth, or which is in orbit, or which is in any effect where gravity as a force is acting upon it, you cannot tell whether you're just freely flying through space or you're falling down. With every other force, if the force is acting upon you, you're experiencing acceleration. You're being pressed against the container that you're moving in. You can feel it in your body. In this case, you can't feel anything. There is no device which will measure it, right? So it's not a force. It is literally moving in a straight line in a curved space. Only when you hit the Earth and the Earth starts resisting you and pushing you away, resisting your free motion, pushing you off your preferred path, do you feel a force. And then you feel a force. You feel it pushing on your feet, and you feel it weighing you down from above. That's the force that you feel. And that's the resistance of the Earth, which is an electromagnetic force between the electrons in your feet and the electrons in the atoms of the surface you're standing on.
Is this curvature of space-time you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, go through that one more time if you don't mind for me. Because I've never heard anybody really try to explain it, you know what I'm saying? It seems, to me that you still need some kind of force there, but just to make things stick to a ball, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
To me,
so the shortest distance between 2 points is always a straight line, right? And straight lines do not deviate in any way. And whenever you deviate from a straight line, you will experience some acceleration, and you will feel that acceleration bouncing you around. You will feel those forces as you change direction, right?
Yeah.
With gravity, that doesn't happen. When you move from point A to B in a circular motion, You're not being thrown about. You don't feel any force acting upon you, pushing you around or anything like that. You're in perfect equilibrium. There is no force acting upon you. The shortest possible distance, that straight line, just happens to go like this, because it is a straight line through curved space-time. There is no force acting. It is the shortest, and right. That's
so in any other instance, we would think that we would feel that if you're taking a sine wave motion instead of a straight line. So why is it in this special case of gravity we wouldn't feel it? Why? So, what's making us not feel it? Is, I guess,
the explanation by general relativity is literally that you are moving in a straight line. You are moving along a geodesic. The space-time happens to be distorted by the mass that is there, and that is the origin of the force of gravity. Or you can say that the mass acts with the force of gravity to distort space-time. But your movement along that space-time is a straight line, as straight as possible through space-time. It just, when you continue that movement, you find yourself in the same spot again.
Okay, Barney, so I got a real important question to ask. All right. So
go ahead.
When you say bending of space-time, to me, I mean, we're talking about gravity here in this atmosphere, and you're talking about bending of space-time. It's just, can you see how that's just like, it's throwing me off, man, like.
So
bending of space-time is going on all around us constantly. Can you see how,
yeah,
somebody would see that as, not really truth. Go ahead, sorry.
So if you take a measurement in reality and you make a prediction of what that measurement is going to be, and those two things misalign, what can you say? Is the reality wrong, or is your prediction wrong?
Okay, you say we see two things in reality and they're misaligned?
No, you take a measurement in reality and you predict something from your model, and those things disagree, which is wrong, right? If you cannot predict what you're going to measure in reality, your prediction, your model is wrong. It doesn't matter how simple it is, how intuitive it is. If it doesn't coincide with what you can see in reality, it is by default wrong. And if your model is weird and unintuitive and hard to think about, but it gives you the exact prediction that you see in reality, that you can measure, and that you can measure to incredible degrees of precision and draw new predictions from, that keep for a century keep being correct and correct and correct and correct, then you kind of have to say, well, I guess that thing is at least very, very close to what actually is real.
I see what you're trying to say, but you got to understand too that predictions cannot be held as proof for some of us. If it's, this, red, green, red, green, red, green. Okay, but you still, what's the how? How is, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like they can, the stars, I believe, have been here for however long this earth has been around. And if they, if we've been along, for that long, if we've been around for that long, then they got a cycle, man. It's a cycle. The sky is doing a cycle, and it's been doing this cycle forever, and they know the cycle. Okay, so that has nothing to do with how we were talking about level water earlier. Like, explain to me this level meaning curve and this force. Now you're saying it's not a force. You got to understand, Barney.
I am. So look. A lot of Globers will disagree with me, and I've just been in the Discord hangout where, like, a lot of people don't understand general relativity, and I can't help them with that, right? The only thing I can say is go and get schooled, right? That it doesn't. The fact that we agree on the final outcome doesn't mean that we agree always on anything being said. I've had these questions that you have, and I went and looked for the best possible answers, and there is an answer which covers it entirely. And your objection is okay if the predictions were coming from previous observations. If you were noticing cycles and were using those previous cycles to predict the next cycle, that is one way to do it. However, what Einstein did is he gave an explanation. And you can take that explanation and turn it into a mathematical model. And from that model, without keeping track of the previous cycles, you can predict what's going to happen next. And you can predict things that we have never measured and never seen before, that are completely beyond our any experiential knowledge, which are completely unintuitive. And for 100 years, time and time again, experiment after experiment, new observation after new observation, he's been right. And there is a point where you just have to go and say, look, this is completely unintuitive, this is completely weird, my brain doesn't work with this information the way it's presented, but it is apparently true. That's
I don't think every observation is right, because they wouldn't invoke this dark matter stuff, but that's just my qualm with what you just said. I don't think every observation of the sky, they wouldn't invoke this dark matter if every observation they were making up there was correct.
1 second, guys. What is up, fam? How you doing, sir?
What up, Big Dre? What up, man?
What's good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How you been, man?
I'm chilling, bro.
So, Barney, you got anything to say about this dark matter? Because the way I understand it, you could correct me if I could be wrong about this right here, but the way I understand it is that they, with mass attracting mass, right? The bigger the mass is, right, the smaller things will attract to this big mass. They saw something up there where it was like a small thing is attracting bigger things to it, and they invoke dark matter. That's my understanding of it. If I'm wrong,
it's way more complicated than that.
So, on an abstract level, there is a difference between seeing something that hasn't been predicted versus having your predictions confirmed, right? All the predictions that were made were confirmed, and we found new stuff which wasn't predicted. Now, there are other reasons why we can kind of know that general relativity needs to be amended, or quantum physics needs to be amended, and that's a problem because those two are the best systems that we have, and each of them, as we test them, keep getting confirmed, but they don't work well together. And we're working on it, and we're still exploring, and the process of science is not over. We don't know everything. There are limits to our knowledge. Right?
Okay, what are you talking about? Wait. Oh, sorry, go ahead. I thought you were
about dark matter. So when dark matter was discovered, it was discovered by noticing that the stars at the edge of the galaxy are moving faster than they should. Almost as though outside the galaxy, and there is more mass that we just cannot see, which isn't occluding anything. And at that point, there were two possible solutions. One solution was we got gravity wrong. And that was the first one that everybody caught on to. And that's what you're saying, right? Since there is black matter, the possible solution is we got gravity wrong. And the other solution is there is something out there that we haven't yet seen and don't know what it is. And it doesn't obscure anything, it doesn't interact with light, it for every other effect except for gravity, it acts as though it's not there, but it might be better. So as long as the effect is uniformly distributed around the universe, you can have those two choices. However, we have found galaxies and stars and places where galaxies collide, where dark matter and normal matter have been separated completely, where there are galaxies without dark matter. One was confirmed just literally a couple of months ago. And if there is a galaxy without dark matter, then it's not a matter of we don't understand gravity and gravity works differently. It has to be that there is something there is some of it here and none of it here. Where it's there, it shows up as that gravitational effect, and where it's not, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? If it was uniform all around, then gravity could work differently.
Yeah, hey, Seek&Find, you see how the water on this ball, how it flings off? Well, the easiest way to explain it, dark matter makes that not happen. The water, the stars, essentially, which are the droplets, don't get flung off into space. There's something, a mass.
Well, Barney, you had said that they looked up there and saw the stars moving faster, right, at like the edge of space or somewhere, as far as they could see or whatever.
So you know how?
Yes. So the speed at which they were moving, if they were moving at that speed with our known laws of gravity and no additional source of mass beyond what we had calculated, they would just continue moving straight and move away. They would be flung off the galaxy.
Yes. Look, let me show you real quick. Fine. Pen. A little pin. Right, there it is. So on the picture I'm sharing right now, see this area here, that area, compared to out here. Though in this picture, the droplets in the center are traveling faster. Droplets on the outside. Well, the way we're seeing these galaxies is that the outside is rotating as fast as center. And the only way for that to happen if there was enough mass to hold the stars from.
I think Barney disagrees with you, bro. But I was just curious, man, to hear that spiel on dark matter. It was sort of interesting. I really don't have a rebuttal because I don't really know much about dark matter, as you could see from my question. But I just,
no one does. That's the thing. No one has
the curvature of space-time. It's the curvature of space-time. We don't live in space, so
you live in
and
space.
I don't see no curve. So.
You don't live in space. Is there a meter of space in front of you?
It sounds like some superhero stuff, like curving space-time, man. It's like
no. When we talk about space-time, we're not talking about space as in that thing which is beyond the atmosphere. Okay. We're talking about space, that thing which we measure in inches and centimeters and meters, and like space is the distance, the dimensions.
And this is curving.
Yes.
Okay.
So. What Einstein figured out with special relativity is that if the speed of light is it's a bit of a long story, but before Einstein, there was a guy called Maxwell, which found the solution to the electromagnetic to electromagnetism, and he set it about in 8 formulas, which kind of have to work everywhere in the universe and are equal for everybody, regardless of who they are and how fast they're moving, and right. Otherwise, your computer would stop working when you're in your car, just because you're moving or it would be working when you're going. It would be working in the summer, but not in winter, and stuff like that. Within his formulas, stemming from his formulas, is the definition of the speed of light. Why the speed of light is exactly what it is. It is the speed of causality. And it is one number regardless of how fast you're moving in whichever direction. That was considered a paradox. That was impossible for any concept of speed or time or space that we know of. Einstein solved that problem mathematically by kind of uncovering that space can change and time can change, but there is a conserved quantity, a space-time interval, which is always the same for everybody. basically how much you take away from space when you move, that much you add to time, and vice versa. And he found a way to calculate from one observer's point of view to another observer's point of view. First, he did it just for movement, and that was special relativity. And then he focused on gravity and accelerating systems, and that's where the math gets really complicated and the concepts gets really mind-boggling. But the solution that he has works out always for every observer in every frame of reference.
Okay, I just got one more question for you, Barney, and I'm gonna let Dre get in if you want to get in. And I don't want this conversation to derail. I just kind of want to, like, a yes or no. You don't really have to explain. Are you atheist?
Yes.
Okay, do you mind having a conversation about that like another time? We don't have to do it here, but
I don't mind doing it here or anywhere else. Your channel, my channel.
Want to do it now? Go ahead.
I mean, okay. One of the things I would ask you is, you don't think that there's, like, even like you explaining what you was just explaining right there with the curvature of space-time, you don't think that all these cosmic coincidences, like, point to a creator? That would be my question.
They don't discount a creator, right? If there is a creator, then that is how he created the universe.
But you don't see, like even with the, so are you like the Big Bang? You think the Big Bang is factual?
I don't think it's factual. I think it's the best hypothesis that we have right now. It's not a singular hypothesis. There are several different models of the Big Bang. Until we figure out if there was an inflation, what model of inflation it was, what is dark matter, what is dark energy, right? Those are the things that we are exploring right now. And there are many speculations, many hypotheses, and many proposed models of how it could work. Some of those work, some of those are being eliminated and thrown away right now, such as what I've just told you, like the theory of modified gravity as explanation for dark matter was discounted 2 months ago. Right? But science is not all, we're still so I can say that I provisionally accept the Big Bang. It is the best explanation that we have so far, but let's say when compared to general relativity as an explanation for gravity, it's nowhere near. It's just speculative. It doesn't work in so many ways that we can genuinely and sincerely say we don't know yet. We just kind of think that it's that.
Would you agree that a lot of things had to come together in conjunction in order for life to be the way that it is as today as we know it?
Absolutely.
A lot of perfect things had to come in conjunction together in order for life to be here. Do you agree?
Yes, absolutely.
And you think this is just happenstance, or it just kind of happened on its own?
If we're talking about what I know, then the answer is I don't know. I don't know if it's happenstance. As I said, if Big Bang is speculative, then the singularity is even more speculative, and seeing beyond the singularity at what might have caused it is we're well in the realms of philosophy and metaphysics there. Drawing conclusions there, right? We can talk about it. We can I will have an enjoyable conversation with you about the philosophy behind it and what I think about it, but that's well outside of the realm of any kind
Belief.
of knowledge, right? If you're asking me for my belief, I still don't know what it is. I still don't know what it is. I just see no reason to invoke a creator, right? If God was evident and manifest, if When I open up my heart and invite God in, and God comes and says, "Here I am," and I know that He's there, then that God can be a candidate for a creator and for the creation. But until there is such a God, I have no reason to invoke Him. Right? Then I just don't know.
I can see you saying you don't know. Do you believe atheism is a belief? Or do you think it's just like...
Yes. I am a positive atheist. I believe that there is no God.
Okay.
I believe that there is nothing supernatural. I'm a physicalist, right? A naturalist.
All right.
Those, if you're asking me what I believe, those are my beliefs, right?
You believe there's no God?
Yes.
You don't see any evidence for a God?
Depends on
even like all these cosmic coincidences.
I see a lot of evidence that can be ascribed to God. It's just that it's not conclusive enough. It cannot be ascribed only to God, nor can it be ascribed to a single God, nor, right? It's the same thing as string theory. It's a hypothesis which explains everything, even the things that don't exist, right? And that does not do it for me.
Okay.
Right? If I say God makes things, God manifests gravity, the answer to the question of when I let this lighter drop, it goes that way, is because God. However, the question to the answer of why did that lighter go up is also because God. And why did that lighter turn into a petunia is also because God. Then that's not an answer. That's not an explanation. If it can explain everything that isn't, why everything that doesn't exist exists, then that's not an explanation.
What about the things science can explain? Do you think science is always going to be have all the answers for everything?
No, I think that there are limits to our possible knowledge. There are limits to our cognition overall. There are things that we cannot think about by the limitation of what we are. We might solve some of those things by networking. We might solve some of those things by creating intelligences greater than ours, or things that can think in different ways than us. But
I think science is studying God because it's studying the natural world, and that's something that God created. In my eyes, He created us and He created the earth. So I think the closer we get to, this is just my belief, the closer we are to, getting to nature and studying nature like science claims to do or whatever. I know they got to get a lot of stuff from nature, but I'm just saying, I think that's two things that you can't, if you're a believer in a creator, deny that He created us and He created the creation, which is the earth. So
yes,
studying,
so even though scientists are predominantly atheists or have a higher percentage of atheists than other groupings of people overall, there are religious scientists, like genuine scientists. And the endeavor of science started from religious origins. People were trying to look at what God has created, to look at His creation and admire what He has created. You don't admire what He has created by closing your eyes and looking away and saying, "Oh God, I love you for creating the firmament," when you can go out there and up there and look at the firmament and see that it's not there, right? You don't want to praise the God for a lie. You want to praise Him for what He did create.
I've actually seen a lot of testimony of people in fields like, zoology and stuff like that, come out of their atheism because they studied certain animals that, are just like, there's no way that nobody created. It's like a beetle with like this bomb in its behind that, if a predator comes, it just basically blows up and gets away. It's like little stuff like that like change people's minds that, just by studying nature, that man, this can't be on on mistake.
And that happens in physics as well, in cosmology, in biology. In people do genuinely get turned to some form of religious to that conclusion of somebody must have created this. This is just too brilliant and too beautiful, aesthetically beautiful to just be an accident.
Yeah, so what do you have to say about like DNA or like animal instincts? Do you think that those two were attributed to a creator?
I can experience the same wonderment without presupposing a supernatural being that I have no evidence for, that I have no convincing evidence for.
You're the evidence. You're the evidence, and the earth is the evidence.
Yes, I know. That's so. When you ask if there is evidence, yes, I can agree that if you posit that there is a God, if there was a God, I would be the evidence of his creation because he created me. And everything, literally everything, would be the evidence of his creation because he created it. Right? It would be the consequences of his creation. But I don't see a convincing argument for that. From that argument, it could be any God, and that God could be anything. For me, it's like me taking this paper, writing God on it, and saying I'm going to stick it on whatever caused the universe. If it's chaos, then chaos is God. If it's Jesus, then Jesus is God.
Well,
if it's,
I think it's okay to not know who. Like, if you have a deity in your mind, then I could see people saying, that's not, But I think the evidence for a creator is there. Now, as soon as you maybe deify him, then you're in the wrong, or deify whatever the creator is, and I think that's where the religions and stuff like that come in. It's like they all have a deity picture in their mind of what God is or whatever. And it's like maybe God just created and kept himself out, or whatever it is out. He just stayed out of the way, gave us free will and just stayed out of the way. And this is the result of what the human genome has done over the years or whatever.
Yes, and so the thing that you have just said, that's deism, that's God of Spinoza. And you will find throughout history and even today, all those atheist scientists, or predominantly many of those atheist scientists, saying, I have no problem, no issue with the God of Spinoza. I have no objection to deism. I just don't share it, right? I don't believe that, but I can see how people can believe that, and I don't mind them believing that. I don't think that they're specifically wrong about it. Okay.
So things like the Earth and its perpetual spinning motion, like it's not going to stop spinning.
Nope.
That's you don't think that's amazing?
Nope.
Your model.
Well,
You don't.
I think I don't think that's surprising, right?
Why not? Okay, so let's go back to the Big Bang. Walk me through what happened, or what you think happened, like with the Big Bang and how the Earth just started spinning and it's not going to stop spinning, and no creator is linked to that.
So, as I said, I don't know what happened. There are at least 7 different theories of what. One of those theories, the one which is kind of popular and predominant today, is the speculation about the multiverse, that universes split off from each other either through creation of black holes or through local inflation to create spaces that have different constants of nature and different laws of nature. And if there are myriads of those universes, some of those universes will have laws of nature which are conducive to life, to some kind of life. One of those universes will be perfectly fine suited for the creation of this kind of life. And that's the only place in the whole multiverse that this kind of life can exist. And that kind of life will exist there. And we'll look at that universe and wonder, well, how can we be here? But that's the only place they can be, right? That's the anthropic principle. We are here because this is the only place where we can exist. We observe the universe such as it is because that's the only universe where we can exist to observe it such as it is.
Right. Even in the heliocentric model, we're in the Goldilocks zone. We're in this perfect spot, man.
Yes.
As far as we know, there is no other life out there yet.
Well, that's up for speculation, but that's only because.
Okay. So you believe in aliens?
No.
No, we're not gonna we're not gonna go down that path. But
no, I'm agreeing with you. We don't know if there are aliens or any kind of life out there.
We're where we're at.
And yes, we're in the Goldilocks zone with liquid water for beings which are based on water and carbon. That's the ideal place where we can be.
The light spectrum, right? And you got these vibrations and frequencies, and we're bouncing. We're sharing waves up through the air and all of this. Man, this is an amazing place we're at, Barney.
Yeah,
it would be surprising if we, such as we are, evolved on Pluto or on Mercury or on Venus, right? On places which have these extreme temperatures and pressures or vacuum or radiation or stuff where we possibly cannot live. It would be truly amazing if we evolved there and found ourselves in that hostile environment, right? It is perfectly acceptable that if life is to start and evolve, it will evolve on a place where all the conditions for life to evolve exist. So of all the billions of stars and planets, the place where you're going to find us is the place where we can exist, nowhere else. You're not going to find us on the sun. You're going to find us on a planet in the golden zone where the atmospheric pressure and temperature are such that the water is liquid, such that it can circulate the nutrients that we need to transform our cells and function, and right? You're not going to find us anywhere else.
I have a question. Hey, Seek, I just realized. I've asked it before. Thought of it again. Like a lot of flat earthers will give you that the globe, Goldilocks zone, this perfect place is so fictitious. Like, how can we believe it? But wouldn't your God do that if you even us in God?
Oh, that's what I'm kind of getting at. Is that in my eyes, if you ask me, and yes, I'm a flat earther, but if you ask me, God is in both models. He's in both models. If you ask me.
Say it again. You kind of cut out.
God is in the heliocentric model too. If you ask me, like God, you would need a God for that model too. If you ask me.
Yeah. So if he believes in God, God exists, whatever it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
but at the same time,
there's a lot of coincidences. When are you going to say that, man? There's too many coincidences for these to be coincidences.
When would you
there's too many
shape?
Like I said, even the way you see, even the way the intricacies of the human body, the way you even see, the way there are all these waves that we can't see. If you saw those waves, you wouldn't be able to use your eyes to drive. There's intelligence behind that. You understand? So
I don't see that. I see that there is an evolutionary advantage to being able to. Sorry.
Whoever that is, and I'm not even I grew up Christian or whatever, but I question the Bible. I'm that objective that I do question it. I question people trying to say, "Hey, man, I know God and you don't." You know what I'm saying? Like that I question that. Like
so
how do you get to God and I don't? You know what I'm saying?
So you don't believe in a God. You believe in a deity, or
I believe in a creator, and I believe that I don't think nobody knows who he is. And in this point in my life right now, that's kind of what I believe. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm that open that I can say I'm confused, man. I'm confused when it comes to God. I don't think none of us know, and I think the people, what I observe, going on, especially with these religions, it's like, man, a lot of it makes me shake my head, but because I grew up Christian and I have read, parts of it. I have, like a 1611 Bible stuff. Like but there's things just in it that I would disagree with, like with the Abraham story. Like I would have told God no. If I heard a voice and God told me to kill my son, I'm telling that God no. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he's going to have to be mad at me or whatever, but
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. You understand? Like,
thank you, God. I will gladly take my place in hell, but I'm not killing my son.
Yeah. That's just don't sit. So, it's like, you got to believe that Abraham had this special, it's like, I don't know. And it's like, me personally in my life, I've never heard God voice. Has anybody heard God voice? I don't, it's like, so I just question people's
definitely hear a voice.
Incentives, you know what I'm saying?
I definitely hear a voice, but he definitely ain't no God. The stuff he says, man, I wouldn't even share it with you guys.
So I
we should be talking about it though. It's something that I think should be, on the table of conversation. That's why I like talking about it.
I was in a place where you are now, right? I was brought up Catholic, and I had the experience of God as just the assumed another person who was in my life. And for me, he was as real as my mom was or as my grandma was. He was just the special kind of guy who doesn't exist and cannot be seen and cannot be heard, and whom I can talk to, but he responds through the events in the world and my own thoughts, guiding my actions when I don't know what to do, or right. And for the longest time, I simply assumed that he exists. And then doubt arose, and I was taught that doubt is wrong and that it's a sin and that you cannot question God. And right. But I read the Bible, and the Bible said that, like, the Bible showed example by example that those who doubt are shown to be fools by God when he reveals the truth to them. And everybody, like the prime example is Saint Thomas, right? Who doubted Jesus, and Jesus let him stick his fingers in his wounds to show him that he is real and he's there and he is tangible. And right. And I said that I was willing to commit the sin of doubt and be shown the fool and learn that there is a God and learn that I'm wrong. And then nothing happened. And I read that seek and you shall find. If you open up your heart and seek diligently and fervently and sincerely and without expectation, God will let you in. He will reveal himself to you. He will come to you. And he didn't. And I went seeking to other denominations, and I kind of turned to my own religion, which is where I think you are now, my personal relationship with God, where I would still talk to him and still communicate as much as I could and express my doubts, because there's nothing that I can, if there is a God, there's nothing in my head that I can hide from him. So yeah, sure. I openly communicated my doubt to him because I didn't want to lie to myself or to him. And I sought in meditation, in New Age, in woo of all kinds, and I couldn't find anything. Wherever I looked, everything was fake and delusional, and people lying to each other, literally misrepresenting, seeking their own benefit from claiming that there is a God. And I grew up in a war, and I saw both sides invoke God, saying that God wants you to kill those other people.
Yeah,
you are the God's chosen ones. Go
over here and crusade. It's like
yeah. And the only thing that I can see of religion, which is kind of consistent in all my interactions with all the different religions, is that it's a leash made by people for people, so that they can tell them something which doesn't have to be proven, but needs to be obeyed without question, without doubt. That doubting is a sin, that you need to not think about it, just do what God commands you to. And I don't want to do that. And for the longest time, I was an agnostic. I maintained that kind of sincere and intellectually honest position of I don't know. And there is a part of me where when I think about it, when I analyze it, I don't know. And I should have no belief about it for that. But I have to be honest to myself that there is nothing in my life anymore where I live as though anything supernatural exists. Therefore, I don't believe that gods exist. And when I ask myself which God I believe in no God, and I believe in no religious claims. I am spiritual. I do sincerely try to be a good moral person. I do not need God for that. I have my own moral agency in doing the best that I can, and that's flawed and imperfect, but it's the best that I can. And
see, to me, it sounds like you're mad at the gods of man that man is made up, and you could disconnect yourself from the creator if you're, mad at. You don't let man, dissuade you from that. That's just my personal, and I could be I don't know you.
If I remove everything that is man-made about God, then there is nothing left. I see no God that I can reason to, even though I've believed in him. God is either absent or irrelevant.
Well, you know how they say God is everywhere?
Yes.
In your life, the earth is it's everywhere you're gonna go. Everywhere you're gonna go, you're gonna see the earth. The earth is gonna be for you and everybody. So, why not? It's like I just think of things like that and just how perfect this place is for us. You know what I'm saying? It's deep to me. It makes me, and like I said, I work at a fish market on the Gulf, so I see beautiful things all the time. I see dolphins. You know what I'm saying? It's just beautiful. And I have a lot of time to sit there and reflect, man. Just look at beautiful scenery, and God is amazing, man. That's all I got to say. Whoever it is, I don't know who it is, but whoever it is, it's amazing.
I don't want to deny you your religion. If those are your beliefs, I'm perfectly fine with it. And if you're going to explore the universe that you think your God created for the greater glory of that God, absolutely. But if you're going to shut your eyes and ears and distance yourself from reality that seems to me not in alignment with believing in a God or sincerely exploring the universe.
What reality am I? I would ask you, what reality am I shutting off? Because there's nothing in my immediate reality where I got to sit there and say, I got to calculate for this curvature right here, or this, or this spin real quick. I don't experience the globe. So what are you saying? You know what I'm saying? So I think, because I think we're all flatter. I think we all experience it the same freaking way. And that's flat, water's level, it's stationary, and we're not moving. And even in your model, we don't have to account for it because it's so perfect and it's in this perpetual motion and the atmosphere is spinning with it. So we good, man. We don't have to count, it's presenting itself as it's still and stationary. So, which is another, for me and your model, pointing to a God, but, to each his own, man, live and let live. I'm just here to put my thoughts out there and let y'all hear the thoughts of me, you know what I'm saying? So.
Good. And I'm fine with it. So I haven't talked to you before, and I don't know what your position is. I'm guessing that if you're in a hangout about flat Earth globe debate, that you are promoting flat Earth and have something to say about it.
I think we spoke once before. But
we've been on the same hangout, and we did speak briefly, but I was mostly talking to Ali and Mind of God that time, and you were quiet and listening.
Right. Yeah, you're
having a
conversation.
So I'm sorry if I'm
too flat Earth. I just wanted to ask that question and kind of understand, because that's, to me. And this conversation is going to lead, or it does a lot of times because I talked about this with everybody. Everybody around me knows my position. This is not some internet like thing I do. and then and then in my real life I'm somebody else and shit. No, this is me. So damn it, I done lost my damn point. Sometimes I smoke, man. So sometimes I
smoke weed every day.
I think it's gone, man. Well, I was gonna say something.
It's okay.
In your defense,
No,
I'm eating out of a peanut butter thing right now. I smoke too.
I smoked when I was a kid, and I grew up.
We're the same age, Barney.
That's not supposed to be.
Matter of fact, I think I'm older than you, Barney.
Oh yeah, pretty much what I was saying is just that I think this conversation is, to me, it's about God, and it's going to lead to talking about God. But
and I'm glad to talk to you about God. I don't know if you're. I'm misattributing things to you. I'm having a conversation with 3 other flat earthers that I've talked to before I've talked to you, and I'm misrepresenting you, and I don't want to do that.
You can ask me a question and see if I feel the same way.
Hey, Barney, welcome to the Hangout Circuit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I don't want to be that guy. That's a part of that. I want to be a good person, regardless of there being an absolute morality or whatever. I want to be a good person by my own standards. I know.
Trust me, Barney. I know a lot of people on both sides. You have nothing to worry about. You're good to go. Both sides will respect you.
Yeah, I really try to keep it respect. If y'all, like the way you're talking to me, when Bob the science guy and them boys get up here, man, and Timmy and them, and they talking with that condescending attitude, and they talking down, it's like you either gonna get, the bite back, to shut up and leave or whatever, It's like I'm really growing, man, to the point where it's like I ain't got time for that, man. It's not a debate to me anymore. I think y'all position, y'all done made up y'all mind. And I think, I think my mind's pretty much made up. Unless you can show me, demonstrate this globe to me. I don't want to hear the mathematical construct. I don't want to see.
But regardless of the science of all this, you don't find it kind of odd that like Chris is all outright just always says he's correct and not be corrected. And I mean, what he's doing is fine. But once something is he hits a wall, he doesn't stop and rethink. He tries to run through it. I don't see an issue with that.
I think Chris has been bringing out some good points lately, man. If you ask me, I think he's been bringing out some good points. He may be off here. We're human, man. Rumpus is fucking wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, exactly. I got a deal.
Like he's right about it. He could be wrong. I got
an issue. No, he is wrong. I have an issue with Rumpus because I asked him about the closed and open system shit. And that motherfucker, and check this out. So, yeah, he was right. It's closed, in a sense. But there's this thing that they're leaving out. Like, everyone keeps leaving out in this argument. And it's isolated. Because that is what you guys... I almost did it too. That's what a lot of flat earthers believe, that we live in this dome. That would be an isolated system. Not a closed, an isolated system. So stuff like that, and then, like you said, yeah, Chris is off, and again, nothing wrong with him being wrong. Nothing at all. Matter of fact, I think most people like me more because I will say stupid shit, and I have to come back the next day and say I was wrong. And I will. So, the fact that he just blatantly just is like, you're wrong, I don't care what all of you guys are saying, I don't care if that's exactly how that works, I'm saying it's this. This is right. Now, his push for it is good.
Too, I said just like he can be wrong, you can be wrong too.
But how many times? But I have never been like, this guy, fuck that guy. I'm right. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.
You just blew up on us the other day, bro. You just
no. Oh yeah. And what did I just do? What did I do last stream? In this stream, I feel guilty for it, but I don't feel guilty for Chris. I don't feel guilty for my... But see, that's what I was just about to get into because you are cool.
Y'all better be careful, man, because I'm telling you, y'all going to be running.
That's the thing. When you are with them...
Shit Jose is doing right now.
Say again?
I'm telling you, man.
Say again?
Jose's doing. on his channel. I mean, yeah, it's his channel too, but I just think, like the conversation. I mean, I think that's a pretty good conversation, man. But I can't have that conversation over on Jose's. But guess what?
Well, I'm gonna take.
I'm saying? So
yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna say week and a half. That's me going through this head change of Globe and Flat Earth. Like seriously, it's not like a joke. Like I really thought back and was like, damn, I really was a fucking asshole for the past week and a half. And I really thought like I was gonna, like honestly, I was worried I was gonna be like a fight the Flat Earth dude. Like out of nowhere, I was just gonna be like, "Fuck you guys, fuck this."
Gotta, like prove something to people, instead of just having a nice
exactly.
build, we just talking about our beliefs here.
Uh-huh. Well, the reality is,
beliefs, and we just talking about them. Okay,
we've had conversations. I've not been triggered. We've had good conversations, but again, like I said, it wasn't you. It was the people you came in with. And you were just there. You were an innocent bystander caught in crossfire. Because I'm going to tell you now, kind of do it, but you don't do it maliciously where you're asking questions. Mind of God, he 100% does it on purpose. I'm sorry, he just does. I have proof of it. I am going to show it because that's ridiculous that he does how he does it. You're asking for answers. You want to know you're getting a good fucking answer. There's a difference. Chris, he just cannot be wrong. There's a problem with that. And everyone does it, but man, if you're pushing flat earth and people are saying prove it or show me evidence and you're openly like that, people don't take you seriously. And they don't even want to hear that flat earth idea anymore.
Yeah, I hear you, man. And I just want to reiterate, because some shit has been going on these past couple of weeks. I mean, you and Ali got it. I mean, I think that's too. You really got into it with.
Oh yeah,
I don't even really understand what happened there because I think I need to go back and watch that. And
okay. Well, put it this way: I've known Ali since I came in, and there's always been a respect there, especially because Ali's been here, and I was a new flat earther, right? But because I had these different ideas about how flat Earth worked, me and Ali were the same person almost. Ali doesn't think like a typical flat earther. Neither did I. So we were cool. We always had good conversation. And then there's this thing like, I get that I've been an asshole for the past week. I get that, and to the people that didn't deserve it, I apologize. But I'm gonna let you know. See, Mind of God, Chris, Pete, and Ali, that day, they got on this panel knowing what they were. 100%. There's no doubt in my mind. Here's the other thing.
Y'all got to calm down, man.
No, listen. I was a flat earther for 2 plus years, so I do see a lot of the things that other people don't see, and that's what frustrated me. Because for 2+ years, I haven't been talked to like this by anybody, and now I'm having people purposely talk to me like I'm speaking some different language, and it's very frustrating because I've done half the things they've done.
It's not a good look for you to get mad. If you got the truth, man, don't get mad. Just show the truth.
That's the thing. I also know that flat earther, getting a Glober mad in a discussion is for some, the point. Trust me.
It seems like that's more on the other side, but if you ask me.
No, not here. Not on this channel.
Well, I see it differently.
So
I see that going.
I've been
telling me that
I've been Globe
trying to piss people off.
I've been Globe for about I've been Globe for about 3.5 months. The past week and a half, have I acted like that? Time you've known me like as just attacking like I would.
Not really, no.
It's not me. That's why I fucking just been talking about how I had a head change. That shit, it tripped me the fuck out. Like, that's not me. I do get triggered. And if someone talks to me stupid, I will get triggered very easily. I won't feel sorry for it. But that wasn't me. That's not how I usually act. Trust me, I've got a lot of fucking DMs in the server going, dude, all right, what's going on? What did this do? Trust me, it's deeper than just a conversation. Like I know shit's going on, and it's in my face, so I'm taking it out on the wrong people. But the problem is like I said, once I get my Sean G channel back, I'm going to be the biggest canary in the world because I don't care if you're flat Earth or a globe. If we're cool, you're going to think what's going on is fucked up, and it's not. I'm not conspiracy theorist. It's so there. It's that sickening. What's going on, and the only thing I'll say is Chris does have something to do.
All right, well, fair enough. I mean, you got your little gripes with everybody. That's fine, but
Well, put it this way, I'm actually about to end the stream because it's getting kind of late for me, and
yeah.
I got some stuff I got to do. If Seek and Find, if you stay here, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about, and I know you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The second you see it.
Okay, I got a little time.
And that's okay. We'll talk in a second. I'm not even gonna end the hangout. Just you guys hang on for a second.
All right.
All right, guys. Tired. It's a pretty long stream. I started late. I'm sorry, guys. One of the main things I wanted to do is this ranty thing. Most likely, I'll probably just do an upload, and then talk about it again. But I really got to get this out because I just want you guys to left off at that wave swirling. I'm gonna do the upload tonight. I already have half of it done. Last night I was like, why don't I just do it live? Kind of see why. It's not Barney or Fine's fault. Obviously, I wanted it to stay on topic. I could have had it, but I like when people can actually have a conversation and get to know each other. I knew that was the first time they had a one-on-one. Would I stop it? They're both cool people. Been a good conversation. Again, I'll be on tomorrow. I'm tired, so I didn't want to, and I did start really late. Like I said, there's a lot of shit going on in the background right now. I don't want to say until I get my my Sean G channel back. But yeah, it's a lot of shit going on. I'm gonna try to get the conversation going a little bit broader. I want to start talking more about the geoengineering, government shit, fossil fuel stuff going on in the background because it's kind of bigger to me. And the one thing that I definitely want to get very clear is that like the past week and a half, that's not me. It literally is a shock of dealing with people I've dealt with for 2+ years, suddenly just treating me like I didn't exist, in that as a flat earther. But hey, that's on you guys. As far as I'm concerned, it's only fitting, I guess. But the main thing to me is that I'm true to myself. I don't care if anyone else has an issue with me. Like I said though, but there are the groups of people that I'm going to be calling out because it needs to happen. It's the mind of God, your wordplay, the blatant diverting of conversations that you do on purpose is, for one, it's not acceptable here because I gave Flat Earth the best platform they have on YouTube right now. I'm telling you right now, like, you're not going to get a better opportunity to present anything you want, to know you're not going to get shitted on here, and basically just fucking shit on my carpet. That, to me, I take that personal. Chris Berry, I'm not joking a little bit. I'm not stupid. I know exactly what's going on. As soon as I get my channel back, everyone's gonna know. So, I mean, your hasty retreat and disappearing didn't help you, but hey, that's what it is. What it is. But again, I definitely have reality check that I need to check myself and realize that that because a couple act one way, they all don't. I still believe that there are a lot of flat earthers out there that want to understand it and want to learn. And that's what I'm here for. All it takes is one for me to be happy. Cold. see. Hang on. Yeah, hey, my God, I'm taking off. I mean, you can come into the hangout. I'll put the link out there, but I'm not airing the link to Herd, and I'm gonna end the stream. But you can come on. But I'm gonna talk to these guys for a second. So give me about 5 minutes before you come in. But other than that, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Yeah, I was accused probably 30 times by now. But good thing we know that there's a clone, right? That was cute though, multi. But if you guys have heard multi debate, you did a good laugh. Yeah. Other than that, guys, I'm back. I'm good. I blew all that steam out. I'm not gonna lie, Chris. My God, you guys are on my radar. Ali B, I do still want to have a conversation with you in private. That's why I have not made it all open because I do have respect for you. But something's gotta. We need to talk. Definitely need to talk. So if anyone out there cross Ali B, let him know I'm looking for him. Other than that, guys, I'm fuck out of here because I'm just ranting. Tomorrow, I'm going to. So here's the thing for tomorrow. I'm going to premiere the ranty upload right after the premiere. I'm going to live stream here. There will be an upload for the alert and the upload premiere that will kick off for everyone to come here after that. So just so you guys know what's going on. Again, I'm hoping by the end of this week my channel's back. Again, I'm in contact with one of the strike copyright owners, and they understand it wasn't on purpose and it wasn't a malicious thing. So they're talking with their partners, and they're going to get back to me. But I've already talked to 3 of the 5, and they all are all flat earthers, so it's all good there. But other than that, guys, I'm gonna get the hell out of here, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll probably see some of you guys tonight in Discord, debate flat Earth and more. Oh, if anyone has questions about geoengineering, ask me at the server or ask me in my email. I had like 5 or 6 people tweet me questions. I don't ever use Twitter, so like you can, but I may not get it. So if you do have questions about OBS, Hangouts, anything you need help on for the doing type stuff, or the server, or live streaming safe, or geoengineering, weather modification, any question, find me in the Discord server or hit my email. All right, guys, thanks for being here. Love you all. Peace.